In this tutorial, we'll be learning how to use the pencil button. By clicking on the arrow, it opens up to line or freehand. Before we try these out, let's go back to our orbit button and move around our model and decide which surface and plane we'd like to draw on. Go into the zoom. I think this looks like a good area to work on. Go back to pan, move it into the middle of the screen. A little bit of orbit. That looks good. Now let's try this line button. Clicking on the line, we can then click on the face, making sure that every line appears on face. And then back to the beginning again. Let's go back to the orbit tool and find another surface for us to draw on. This looks like a good place. Zooming in. Go back to the line. Making sure that every pencil mark is on face. Let's zoom out. Use the pan, the orbit, and move to a different location for another drawing. Let's try a new drawing in this area, making sure that every line is on face. Now let's try the freehand. We'll draw in the same location. This time, when we use freehand, we keep our finger clicked down on the mouse button or the trackpad. And then take it off when we've finished. Let's try that again. You can pause and then come back to the original start and draw back to the end. Why don't you pause the program here to experiment with these tools? Let's try that one more time. Let's go to orbit, find a new place to draw. Let's try on top here. Zoom in. Back to the freehand and draw a shape. Before we finish, let's now try some of the other buttons that we'd learned earlier on. Let's use the zoom extents to zoom out and the orbit to move around our new drawings. Remember that push-pull button? Let's see what happens if we use that on our new drawings. Click the push-pull button and hover them over the shapes and pull. Or push in. Let's try this one here. Oh no, we have a problem. Let's have a look at that problem before we move on. Let's use the zoom button and zoom in. Can you see that there? It hasn't joined up, so it doesn't recognise it as a whole shape. Let's go back to the freehand and close that line. That should have done it. Let's see if it worked. Back to push-pull. There we go. Can you see the difference this time? Let's go back to zoom extents and see what we've achieved with these tools.